All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for our advising session, our live advising session for Sant'Anna. We're very lucky to be joined by so many from Sant'Anna Institute, and we're going to talk more today about life on site right now in the current situation and answer as many questions as we can. We have students who have submitted questions, so if you don't cover it in your presentation, I will be asking them, and then if students join, they can ask their questions too, and then we'll send out the recording for anybody who couldn't make it today.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Good morning or good evening to my staff. Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to Sant'Anna, virtual Sant'Anna today. Hopefully it's going to be in person soon. My name is Cristiana Panico, and I'm the president and founder of Sant'Anna Institute in Sorrento. I'm going to spend just a few words about what's going on right now in Sorrento, in particular in Italy, during this very particular moment. As everybody knows, Italy was hit very badly at the beginning of the pandemic. And I think we were able to learn, everyone in the world, we were able to learn how to handle this situation since the very beginning. Having said that, I think that our government, because of what we experienced in March, has been really constantly on the top of this problem. Giving the citizens and the entire country regulation really strict. In Italy, the law is for everybody. So when the government gives some directions, everyone has to do, but also the region can be kind of independent. It can also give more rules to people. Our region, Campania, in this particular moment, has a new governor, and that we call the sheriff. You know, in Italy we don't have sheriffs, but he is like a sheriff, very strict. And the rules are like wearing masks everywhere. So not only when you are in a closed place, like in a bar or in a restaurant, in a gym, but also outside in the street. So all day long, we need to wear masks. And I think the fact of wearing masks is a way to protect yourself, but also to protect others. So when you meet somebody, you have, of course, a social distance. So you feel like the other person is protecting you, and you protect yourself with the mask. So we feel pretty safe in this moment. And I think that being a kind of, being rigid ourselves and following the rules, the numbers, especially in the peninsula in Sorrento, are pretty low. I think we have probably a dozen, less than 20 people in the entire peninsula. So everything is under control. Last week, the government came with some more restrictions just because in Italy the numbers were increasing a little bit. We didn't want to wait too late. And so they decided to give a restriction like when you go in a restaurant, you can't have tables bigger than 6 people. And the time it's reduced a little bit, so by all the restaurants have to close around 11 p.m. But I think it's the good news is that restaurants are open, so we are actually living normally. I go to the gym. I take precautions, I wear the mask, I keep myself, distant from others. I go to restaurants with my very close friends. I go to church. Churches are open, so there are seats, that you have to sit. So you can't sit close to each other. You can't give your hands, you know, when is the moment of peace. We go to bars as well. You know, we are very lucky because the temperature is pretty good, so we can still sit outside. We go to the cinema. So life is back to normal. It's just a little bit different way of living. So I think that the message right now, and this is what exactly I'm sending to my two kids. I have two college kids. And the message is, you know, keep doing kind of everything you've been doing so far, but you have to do just a little bit in a different way. So be cautious about what you do. You know, Italians, for example, we love, you know, when we walk in the street, we meet somebody we know, immediately we hug them and we kiss them. We had to, now we control ourselves. We don't do that anymore. So little things that help to control the spread of the virus. So I think that students, when will arrive to Sorrento, they will definitely have to follow the Italian laws and start, you know, being more careful about what they do. And if everybody behave in this way, I think that the, you know, the numbers of contagions is going to decrease pretty much a lot. My daughter is, as a mom, okay, my daughter is living in Bulgaria at the moment. So a month ago, when it was the moment to leave, I was kind of nervous about it. But I had several conversations with her. I said, okay, baby, you know, you're 20 years old. You are, you know, you're a woman now. You're an adult, and you have to be responsible. So follow the same rules that, you know, we've been doing here. Follow the rules that are in Bulgaria. Some rules are a little less strict, just follow the Italian rules. Don't go to parties if there are parties. Try not to hang out with everybody, with the people that are more or less living the same type of life, and be safe. So I think that this particular moment, we have to train our students, not doing not really an orientation, but train them to live their life, still enjoy, but do with much more awareness. So I think that my message is we're very optimistic and we feel safe in our town, in our peninsula, in our region. Even trains, you know, I feel safe. I traveled with the train, and the seats were not close to each other. So I was alone, and the other person was definitely more than a couple of meters far from me. So I think this is the message that I would like to send to the students. You know, feel confident. I know it's tough. I know it's not the best moment, but you can still do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think now I'm going to introduce my wonderful staff that I thank a lot because it's, you know, after our time. And we have Serena Vacco, who is our study abroad coordinator, who is going to talk in a minute. And then we have Marco Marino, who is our academic director, and Emily Hammeran, who is our internship coordinator. Thank you so much and enjoy.
Thank you, Cristiana. Thank you for the introduction. As Cristiana was mentioning, we're going to talk today about our programs here in Sorrento and specifically about our spring program starting in January. This is the agenda for today. So we're going to explore several topics, the theme, which we already talked with Cristiana, Sant'Anna stories and our facilities and services. Then we're gonna move to our study abroad department with the programs that we offer and the internship and community engagement projects with Emily. Then will be the turn of student life and activities, and finally we're gonna talk a little bit about health and safety, and specifically about the epidemic prevention protocol that we have put in place for spring 2021. And at the end, anyone is welcome to ask any questions that they may have. So Sant'Anna was born in 1998. So we were born as a language school, Italian language school for foreigners. As you know, Sorrento is a very well-known tourist destination, both for Italians and people from all over the world. So we were born as I said, language school for foreigners. Then we added the modern language teaching component to Italian students. And finally, we added what is now our niche. So study abroad programs for US college students. And now this is really our big, let's say, business, and we have more than 30 study abroad programs per year. In this picture, you see the peninsula, the whole peninsula of Sorrento, and in the red circle, that's Sant'Anna, so our building. Sant'Anna, the building itself belonged to the nuns and used to be a convent, and it was then converted into a school. And we moved here some years ago. As you can see, it is at a very short walking distance to the beach, this sandy beach here on the right, it's Marina Grande. So most of our also classrooms and bedrooms, because in our building we also have our residents, so actually do face the sea. So it's even for students just in between classes, they can go, and going down a set of stairs will be directly down the beach. And this is another picture of our peninsula from the other side of the coast. As you can see, Sorrento doesn't have long sandy beaches because it's on a cliff. So it's more, you will find everywhere this type of platforms on the rocks, equipped with sunbeds, umbrellas, where you guys can, relax and sunbathe. This is another picture of our building, Sant'Anna, and this was actually taken by one of our marine biology students going on a snorkeling excursions with their faculty, but we're going to talk a little bit later about classes and field trips. And again, some other pictures on the right of our school and the marina, and on the left, this is a view taken from one of the classrooms. So just imagine, listening to your lesson in class with this view. I know it can be distracting as it is for us when we work a little bit. Again, some more pictures.
Or jealous,
Yeah. And this is the main facade of our building with the pathways that gets to it, and the entrance to our campus, and some other pictures that are also coming later of our garden. We also have an organic garden, and students are more than welcome to pick their own veggies and fruits to cook their own meals. So as you can see from this little map, Sorrento is located on the coast, of course, on the Mediterranean Sea, on the western coast of Italy, just a little bit southern of Naples, and it is right in between the two Gulf of Naples and Salerno. And at a short distance from Sorrento, we have so many points of interest and amazing location and destination that you can visit during the weekend, or even during an afternoon free of your classes. Of course, Naples and Salerno are the two big cities close to Sorrento, but just an hour bus drive, we have the amazing Amalfi Coast, a breathtaking spot that is mainly made of three towns, Amalfi, Positano, and Ravello. I'm sure everybody has heard of it. And the three islands of Capri, Ischia, and Procida are again on the Gulf of Naples, and they can be reached very easily through ferries and hydrofoils. They leave hourly from the port of Sorrento. Capri is for sure the most famous, but also Ischia is very famous for the thermal spas. The excavation site of Pompeii and Herculaneum, again, are at a short train ride from our town, and Mount Vesuvius, which is one of the most famous volcanoes in all Europe, and can be reached again just with by train from Sorrento. In fact, Sorrento is very well connected both with the local areas around our town and with Naples. As Christiana was mentioning, our life now feels like normal, even if we have some restrictions. But at the moment, there are no restrictions for traveling within Italy. And Italy is served by a very good system of high-speed trains. So it will be very easy and convenient to travel from Sorrento to Rome, Florence, Milan. Imagine that from Naples to Rome, it's just a 1-hour train. From Naples to Florence for 2 hours and a half. And, you know, sometimes students during their study program tend to travel abroad in other countries during the weekend. But I think especially in this spring 2021, it will be fantastic for the student to explore more of Italy rather than more of Europe. As I was saying, at the moment, there are no restrictions when traveling in Italy, but again, in spring 2021, we will be constantly in contact with you guys, and we will advise if there are any, you know, risky regions or red zones where we don't suggest students to travel. And yeah, Sorrento is also well connected with the Naples airport in Capodichino, where we have more than 35 airlines and 100 destinations to reach from Naples. In this particular moment, there are some restrictions when traveling in Europe. For example, Italians are not allowed to travel in some countries where the COVID, as it at the moment, is hitting the population very badly. And again, in spring 2021, we will be advising you guys about what countries to, you know, avoid and what others to prefer when traveling abroad. So our campus, as I was saying earlier, we have, you know, in our building, which is made of 6 floors, we have both classrooms and accommodations. In fact, in 2017, we opened our residence hall, which is located on the top 2 floors of our building. We also have common areas both in the residence hall and in the classroom spaces with student lounge, rec room and gyms, garden, citrus grove, and study areas. Because of COVID, where you'll see this exclamation mark in our presentation, it means that there are some restrictions because of COVID. And so, as in all public spaces, access is limited to reduce the number of people in all of these areas. And in all of these areas, we are monitoring, we're following social distancing. So, for example, people, just like in a normal classroom, need to be at least 1 meter apart, and so on. And as you see from this picture, in all our classroom and desks, we have selected specific spots where students can sit, so that we respect the social distance. And classrooms are all equipped with a smart board, projector, speakers, Wi-Fi, and air conditioning. And they can either face the sea or the garden, Sant'Anna garden. And of course, our maintenance team is taking care of sanitizing constantly classrooms and common spaces. Sant'Anna offers 3 types of accommodations. As I was saying, we have the residence hall on campus located on the top floors of our main building, and then we also offer shared apartments and those families. For this spring 2021, again, for safety reasons and to secure the safety of our students, we're not allowing host families. While we are allowing shared apartments. They are located throughout Sorrento, but again at a walking distance to the school, and they all have the same features as our residence hall. So our residence hall, as I mentioned, is brand new, has 23 bedrooms, double and triple bedrooms, but for spring 2021, we're only allowing single occupancy. And they are, as I was saying, equipped with double and triple twin beds, a mini fridge, desks and chairs, and all bedrooms have free Wi-Fi access, air conditioning, and a private bathroom. There's a big common space, a big kitchen space with actually 6 cooking stations fully equipped for your meals. And again, in this common space, in this kitchen space, we're respecting the COVID-19 restriction rules and social distancing rules with big fridges, and they're really equipped with all you will need to prepare your meals. And the amazing thing is that you can either enjoy your meals in the tables and chairs that you see here, or on our rooftop terrace. We actually have 2 very big, huge terraces that have this view. So imagine just waking up, sipping your coffee with this view. As far as shared apartments are concerned, again, they have the same features as our residence hall, so they're all fully furnished, and they do have air conditioning, washing machine, and also linens and towels are provided. I forgot to mention in our residence hall slide that you will have an housekeeping service that they come and clean your bedroom, as well as, of course, the kitchen area and the common space. Our shared apartments can accommodate up to 6 guests with double rooms and shared bathroom and kitchen. But again, for spring 2021, we're only allowing single occupancy. So we'll only have single bedrooms. And these are examples and pictures of a typical bedroom and a typical kitchen, common space in a shared apartment. And host families, and this is the best option for students that want to immerse in the Italian culture and not only practice the Italian language, because also students that don't speak Italian decide to live with the host family. Rather than this is the option for students that really want to, as I said, experience the local culture. And our students create very strong bonds with the host families, and really you'll make your home away from home, your second family. I know of students that have studied with us and have lived with those families in the past. They come and visit their host families every year, or the host family has come to the US to visit them. So it's really a strong relationship that they create. And in this option, you have breakfast included daily, and you can also choose to have daily dinner with your family. So it's just also the perfect way to experience the Italian culinary traditions. We offer an array of services to all students. First of all, about healthcare, we have a doctor that comes every week to Sant'Anna to visit our students in case they need to be visited by a doctor. We have emergency services. You will have our emergency contact number available 24/7. We offer, of course, study skills, language, and tutoring resources, as well as counseling, housekeeping, and maintenance services. And Emily is going to talk a little bit later about this. We offer an array of student clubs and activities for you guys to build together. No, even in this moment with the COVID, we're still offering all of our activities and clubs, but in a different way. So we will, encourage outdoor activities and clubs, and will anyway respect the rules of our country. Okay, then now I'm gonna pass the word to Marco, who is our academic director. He's gonna talk about academics and classes offered in the spring.
Thank you, Serena. Thank you, everybody, for inviting me to talk about our academic offerings. Here you see the full table of our academic offer. I would like to highlight the new addition starting from this academic year, the continuing education for adult students, the virtual internship for direct credits, and the research program for honor students, undergraduate course. All of our courses count for US credits. Our school of record is JU, Jacksonville University in Florida. Okay, here you see the list of our academic areas. We offer a mix of social, natural, and cultural courses, with a special emphasis on those ones that are specifically territory-based. Also because the core of our academic experience is outside the classroom, on site, through many field trips and extra class activities. Actually, the focus is specifically on the connection between the topic and the subject and our territory. Actually, we can say the unique connection. Okay, next please. Starting from this slide, we see the courses we offer this spring. In bold, you see the guaranteed ones. The other ones will run or not, depending on the number of enrollments. The courses are offered on campus in person. Firstly, you see the list of courses in humanities. Here, I would like to highlight courses connected to our areas, like archaeology, field study, or history of Italian cinema. One of the courses I personally teach. Also, I recommend the religions of the classical antiquity, that is cross-listed religions and philosophy, so with 2 codes. Sorrento is in the middle of one of the most important areas for classical civilization. This is the reason why archaeology, for example, includes many site visits, such as Pompeii, Herculaneum, just to mention some of them. On the same slide, you see also the list of our Italian courses, 6 of language and 4 of literature, all of them fully taught in Italian. On the same slide, you see on the right some photos. One is one of our Italian faculty in classroom, and the other one in the middle of the slide is from one of the field trips we organized within the archaeology course at the Archaeological Museum of Naples. Next, please. Okay. Here you see some photos from some of the field trips we organized. In particular, on the right, you see a photo from the villa of Poppaea, the wife of the Roman Emperor Nero. It's in Torino Plontis, Torre Annunziata, really close to our institute. On the left, you see a photo from the cloister of St. Francis from the Middle Age. We have very close to our institute again. Next, please. Okay, this is the list of courses we offer in the business area. Also, in this case, some of them are closely related to our territory. For example, one of them is Italy and tourism, and also another one, food marketing. I suggest these ones for the same reasons. Another one I would like to highlight on the list is Italian community management and professional culture, because it's a new addiction. It's a course, actually not an internship, but with a strong component represented as an on-site project at one of our partner companies in Sorrento. So it's a sort of a mix between an internship and a regular course. The list of social sciences is a mix of territory-based courses, like, for example, history of Italian cinema and, history of and culture of the Mediterranean and history of the mafia, with some other courses exploring global and urgent and crucial, I would say, issues like human rights and gender studies. Next, please. For natural sciences courses, 2 are really interesting and appealing. They are marine biology and volcanology. More specifically, marine biology is a lab course for 4 credits, so students can study in our biology lab and also join many on-site activities we organize in the Marine Park of Punta Campanella, again in Sorrento area. The second one, volcanology, is really peculiar to our institute because, as you know, in our area we have the Mount Vesuvius, one of the most important and iconic volcanoes in Europe. Then for health sciences, in the same slide, this spring we offer human nutrition related to our territory for the Mediterranean diet. It's one of the cores of the class. On the same slide, also you see the cultural studies. In general, they focus on the Mediterranean in a comparative perspective. In particular, I recommend the New York course, Naples Response. It focuses on comparing the urban problems of Naples and New York. For food studies, we have history and culture of Italian food, also interesting and appealing because it is again a cross-listed course for history and international studies as called. Then we have the internships. You know, my colleague Emily later will focus on that. On the right, you see some photos from our bio lab. Next, please. Okay, here you see some photos from one of the field trips organized within marine biology. It is the Sea Turtle Rescue Center, also in this case close to Sorrento. It's one of the field trips that our students enjoy more in general, not only for marine biology. Next, please. Here are some photos from the field trips we organized within the volcanology course that I mentioned before. Of course, they are photos taken from a field trip to the Mount Vesuvius I mentioned before, the volcano. Okay, here you see the first slide of the academic policies. I would like to focus on the absences. They are we have just 2 unexcused absences that we can allow. Beyond them, medical documentation is needed. Okay. Also, please consider that the penalty for each unexcused absences after the second, it's really important for our policy. And also note that in the case of field trips, the absences count for 2 again, because for us the experience on site is really important. Okay, here we have the regulation on the transcript and also on the drop and dead period, the first week of the program. Starting from the second week, students need to fill out a specific form to me. And also, okay, here it's a really important slide. In case of quarantine or also home isolation, the students involved will be allowed to attend the courses online. In this way, their grade for participation and also the grade for the final grade for the course will not be affected in any way. Okay, and also it's important to clarify that if needed, the midterm exam and also the final exam will be submitted virtually by using a specific software that our School of Records JU approves. The Respondus is the name of the software. That is probably you know that because it's one of the most common softwares for distance exams. Thank you, Serena. It's all for academics. I'm really pleased to give the word to my colleague Emily for the internship.
Hi, everyone. As Marco introduced, I'm Emily, and I'm going to talk about our community engagement opportunities in Sorrento. As Serena mentioned, there isn't the chance to do the homestays in the spring semester, spring 2021. However, we have plenty of other options for students to dive deeper into the Italian culture, including our international internships. For international internships, we work with local organizations from Sorrento and even as far as Naples. And for our virtual opportunities, we even have placements around Italy and some abroad. For COVID measures, we also have these for our work placements. As the protocol is in Italy and also in our region, depending on safety needs, smart working might be implemented in different placements. It depends on where your work placement will be, and this will be assessed by Sant'Anna and decided. You might have a hybrid of on-site and smart working, but we also have an internship room in our building in the school, so students will have a space for smart working if need be. Next slide. So we have a lot of fields that are similar to our course fields that Marco talked about, and also some additional ones as well. So I'll talk a little bit about each of these. Next slide. The first one, probably our most popular area, is business. It's usually where the most students major in when they choose the internship, but we have also other opportunities as well, other fields. Because Sorrento has a very large hospitality and tourism industry, a lot of our internship placements are in these types of businesses in hospitality and tourism. We have a lot of small scale businesses. We have a lot of entrepreneurs in Sorrento. So it's nice because students get to like to work in this type of atmosphere in a tight-knit team, and often they get to work with the owners of the companies themselves, of the organizations. Next slide. Like I mentioned, hospitality and tourism is the largest industry in Sorrento, so we have a plethora of opportunities in this area. It's also a tradition that goes back generations in Sorrento, so it's a very deeply rooted in our area, hospitality and tourism. Education, another area. So in education, most of the projects and placements are based on ESL work, so teaching English as a second language, but also teaching other subjects in English. So you can see some of the different opportunities that are available in the field of education. For communication, it's another really popular option. Our students who work in this field usually work mostly with social media strategy and development, and also content writing for different companies such as the ones listed here. Next slide, please. So in our sciences, it's a unique niche area that's available in Sorrento, especially in the marine sciences. As Marco explained, in our area, we have the protected marine area, which we have a strong relationship with. You can see one of our past students doing a turtle release who worked with our local marine protected area. We also have placements in the health sciences, not only in vet studios and the pharmacy, which you see in the other photo here, but also nutrition placements. And another niche area is natural sciences. So students can also be placed with in geology and also volcanology. Next slide. So the process for the internship, there's a separate application to the general application, which I collect, and I also interview each of the students who are candidates for the internship program. After the interview, I also confirm their internship placement, and right before the program, I send an internship program to each student with a list of projects that they can expect to work on through the period. Then once students arrive, we do an orientation and also an individual introduction to each student's work placement. So to meet your supervisor and your colleagues and talk about the projects. And then from then on out, it's each student's responsibility to complete their amount of hours. But I also meet with them each week to talk about different professional development topics, which I'll talk about in a second. And at the end of the internship, we also create this e-portfolio, which counts as the final project for the internship, which is nice because it can be carried on into the future for the students as well. Next slide. So the lead program is what we call our weekly meetings for the internship program. And so it's leadership, engagement, and professional development is what LEAD stands for. And you can see some of the topics that we cover during the semester. During this time, it's a really good opportunity for students to reflect about the experience they're having. And we also focus on the skills that you're developing during this experience so that you can put this all into your e-portfolio, but also be able to use these skills and talk about these skills in future job opportunities and interviews. Next slide. So for service learning, this is another option to give back to the community and engage with the local community. Our service learning projects are not for credit, but they also follow a program structure like the internships that students get a certificate at the end of. We have specific projects that might also be related to students' majors when possible. The service learning program has less hours than the internship. So the internship, because it's for credit, has a bit more hours and more projects during the course. Also for COVID measures apply here as well. So placements for the internship or the service learning opportunities will be selected based on health and safety measures. And some of our most common service projects that students are involved in are, for example, working with diversely able adult centers here in Sorrento, and also after-school programs. We also in Naples collaborate with an NGO that works with refugees and asylum seekers. We also take part in the Pride Parade of Sorrento, which for last year was the first Pride Parade, and we hope that there will be many in the future. We also organize a free English program for low-income locals. That is a program that we've run with the town hall for several years. And we also work on a secondhand clothing sale with a local women's organization that raises money for our local Coriale Museum. Okay, and so for student life, This is another area that students can immerse in the local community and the local culture. Student life projects and clubs are coordinated by our colleague, Georgia, who is an Italian professor and also a local of the Sorrento Peninsula. So she super enjoys being able to share Sorrento and kind of like the local secrets with the students through these different clubs. So for the student clubs, of course, the COVID measures apply here as well. So as Serena mentioned, and we also will talk about in the health and safety regulations, those will be followed both for activities and clubs inside the school and also outside of the school. For these student clubs, it's a good way to take advantage of some local expertise and live the Italian culture to the fullest during your time in Sorrento, and also learn about the place that surely you'll call a second home once the program is finished. It's also a great way to interact with other students and meet new friends, make new friends. We have a few clubs listed here, which are most popular, but we're always open to new club ideas. Next slide, please. So here are some photos from the different clubs. We have one of the welcome home craft activities, making recycled pots, and the students took these plants back to their accommodations, to their dorm rooms and shared apartments. We have the dance class in the gym space and also the cooking class, which you might not be surprised is our most popular club. We also have some other photos from one of the arts and craft activities and also the Discover Sorrento Club. There's Georgia taking a group of students from last year, or from the spring, I believe. Here we have some more arts and crafts and more cooking club. So you can see they're well attended. Students really enjoy being able to do these different Sorrento traditions and learn about the local culture. Of course here, and also you can see here in the picture, the gym and the distance measures will be taken into effect, and also the wearing masks and all of the other COVID safety measures that we have. So some of the photos might be in a little bit different way. You might see them in a little bit, experience them in a different way in the spring. We also have, this is the terrace outside of the kitchen space. So another good spot for a fitness club. Next slide, please. We also have several cultural activities that we can book for students outside the school. Some of them are also included as field trips in the courses. So here you can see some students making pizza. There's also the gelato class, visit to the cheese factory. Also in this slide, you have more pizza class and also a snorkeling activity, which is one of the field trips for the marine biology course. And we have some other photos of students visiting some local historical sites and also, again, braiding cheese, a local tradition. And now I'll pass on to Serena for health and safety and risk management measures.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. As I was mentioning before, we're gonna cover a little bit of our measures and the protocol we've put in place for spring 2021. As Cristiana said before, the current situation in Italy is that masks are compulsory in all public spaces, so both indoors and outdoors, as well as in shops, restaurants, and everywhere. You will not be alone. And you may be surprised that we really have police on the street that it's checking that you're wearing masks. And actually you will get a fine if you're not wearing a mask. So just to say that Italy is really taking things seriously. And this is just our way to try and stop the spread of the virus. Restaurants and bars, as Cristiana said, actually close at midnight. Wherever you will go, they will check your body temperature. And if it's above 37.5 degrees Celsius, you will not be accepted. You will not allowed to enter. We also have put in place a good system of contact tracing. So along with your body temperature, you will also be asked to identify yourself, to give your contact information. So in case, for example, in that restaurant, a positive case was found, they will go and contact all the people that were in the restaurant on that night. So that's a way, a precautionary measure to, you know, be able to trace everyone that has been in contact with that person. As for our students in spring of 2021, we are requiring all students to take a test, a COVID test, 72 hours before arriving to Italy, and self-quarantine before departure. Once in Sorrento, once arrived in Italy, we will ask for the certification of negative results of these tests in order to be allowed into our accommodation. In case you guys are not able to get a negative, a result before you arrive to Italy, you will take the test upon arrival here in Sorrento, and you will be in quarantine until results are ready. In that case, and also in case a quarantine is still required for all students arriving from the United States, the orientation as well as the first days of classes will be organized online. And we will also organize from 8 to 10 mandatory tests throughout the semester, so we can, you know, be effective and fast in recognizing new cases and, you know, stop the spread. As I mentioned, in Sorrento, just like in Sorrento everywhere and in Italy, also in the school, we will check a temperature for each student, staff, and faculty, and we will not allow access if you have a body temperature higher than 35.7. In case of a positive test result, students will be quarantined, and we will follow the regulations for isolation. So you will actually be moved from your accommodation, and you will have to quarantine in a set accommodation, of course, by yourself. Sant'Anna will assist with food and any type of medication or any type of assistance that you guys will need during your quarantine. If a case of COVID is confirmed, we will manage the case just following the rules of our ASL, which is the local health department. Again, we will, you know, take care of you, and you will not be left alone, even if you will need to quarantine. You will receive assistance from Sant'Anna 24/7. And of course, if either a student or a faculty, just like Marco said, is found positive, our courses will be converted online. Okay, I think that was the last section, the last slide about COVID and about the measures that we're putting in place in order for you guys to be safe, but at the same time to enjoy your experiences in Sorrento. So why studying Sorrento? Why deciding to spend your spring semester in our town? First of all, because, you know, to enjoy the southern Italian atmosphere and traditions, as you were able to experience through our presentation, that we will offer so many ways for you guys to immerse into the culture, to give back to the community, to you know, not be a tourist of Sorrento, but a part of our community. It's the Italian way of life, but especially the southern Italian way of life. We are you know, friendly, and we always love new imports to our community. Also, Sorrento, as we explained before, is really in the middle of Europe, and you will be able to travel basically everywhere, as still respecting all COVID restriction and the measures, and of course being safe. Last but not least, also to enjoy our amazing culinary traditions. They make Italian food one of the best known in all of the world. I don't know if Christiana, you want to talk briefly about this video, or I can introduce it.
Yeah, go ahead.
This video was created by WHO, so the World Health Organization, and it is a tribute of the way that Italian responded to COVID. So it's a 3-minute video. I'm gonna start it now.
We can't hear.
Sorry for the technical issue. I'm not sure.
We had the same issue at the time. I don't know if it's possible to hear the sound, Sarah.
I'm not sure.
Click on the little sound button to the right of the play button.
Yeah, it's actually on.
Yeah.
No, I think when you upload something on this PowerPoint, sometimes it doesn't work. I remember we had the same issue last time with something else.
Let's try again. Can you hear it now? No?
No. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
yeah. I mean, maybe with a link directly from YouTube. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I can try and.
Yeah. So in the meantime, while Serena is trying to check.
Working now, by chance? No?
No. It's a shame.
I'll try last time.
If you send us the link, we can send it out to students. If you send me the
of course.
Thank you. It's just, you know, we are kind of proud, you know, to I know that, you know, sometimes it's better to have a different prize, but for something else, but we would like to share that with the students and parents as well, of course. So just to conclude, in this presentation about all the services and courses and everything that we offer, we wanted to include also the COVID regulation. It seems like a lot of you know, a lot of things, but I don't want you guys to be scared about this. It is going to be, and I'm pretty sure that probably the majority of you guys that are on campus at the moment are more or less having the same rules. Everything that we're going to do is going to be for your safety, and you can count on us, even if, you know, anytime during the day students doesn't feel well. We all live near the campus and near all the majority of the apartments, so we can come and help. Sant'Anna is very well connected with doctors. We know a lot of doctors. We know people at the hospital. You know, the Italian system is free. So if something happens, you can go to the hospital and you're going to be assisted in the best way. But not only as a person coming from outside, but a person that belongs to Sant'Anna. When you will be a Sant'Anna student, you will be a Sorrentine. You will be treated as a Sorrentine 100%. So I would like you to feel safe in our family. You'll be treated as part of our family in every sense, in everything that you're going to do. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer.
Thank you so much for the thorough information. You answered my questions, all the questions that we received from students already. So I just wanted to see if Scott, if you had any other questions that you've heard from students, anything that they didn't cover.
I think just recognizing a lot of the photos there were pre-COVID, and certainly they're, like you guys were mentioning regarding the social distancing. I know some students have wondered if they're living together, are they considered a family unit, and therefore in the building they might not have to mask together, or they can take photos together, they can do activities together because they're sort of considered that family unit. I don't know if you guys can respond to that or not. And how
I'm not sure about the question. So if students are going to live together?
Yeah, so for example, we have students who are studying abroad right now, and because they're sharing an apartment together, they're considered a family. So,
Right.
with your family, you can do activities together, take a photo together, and
Right.
so forth. Are
Yeah,
they considered the same if they're in the dorms all together?
Yeah, we're going to consider the same altogether for those who are living together. So in the dorm, they can probably avoid to wear the masks, but when they're at school, they will need to wear all the time the mask because there will be other students coming from other apartments. And again, this is the regulation that we have today. Mid-October. So it can be less in January, it can be more in January. We don't know. This is what is today. Tomorrow it can change.
Right.
We know that. I think we all know that, but it's helpful to hear what it's like right now to help paint that picture as students start to make their final decision with deadlines coming up. And so this has been wonderful. Scott, was that the only question? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us. And
thank you.
Send you many students. I'm ready to go. That view is amazing.
Thank you so much, and thank you to all the CIS family. We have a wonderful relationship. We've been working together for so many years, and we really cherish our relationship. And I think in this particular moment, we feel even stronger together. And we are.
we are, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful
day. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.